global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. The issue of insecurity is not only in the northern part of Nigeria. It has found its way down to the southern part and some state that you would never believe it is happening there seriously. Right now, the Igbos are actually on a protest for 2 days, and that protest, the significance of it is that they're going to close their shops for 2 days in most of the major markets in Cross River State, precisely Calabar City, so that they can send signals out that things are not going on well with the Igbo traders in Cross River State. And guess what? This whole issue started as a little joke, and look at what it has grown to. When we were growing up, I could still remember my parents told me that actually Calabar is an acronym, and what it means is come and live and be at rest, But unfortunately, that's not what it is today. The level of kidnapping in Cross River State, precisely Calabar, and mostly the Igbos, it's amazing. Cross River is known as the civil service state, But this Igbo coming in have kind of expanded the economic scope of the, state, and they are now being targeted by kidnappers. But before we go into all of that, let's just look at the news in detail. And news have it that shops and other business activities belonging to Igbo traders in Cross River State were closed down on Monday, June 22nd. At Ward Market, 8 Medium and Marian Market, Calabar, shops were under lock and key when we visited. And it was gathered that the closure was necessitated by the spate of kidnapping of Igbo traders in the state. The latest being the CEO of Odinka Electrical and Electronics, Chief Odinka, who was kidnapped alongside a former board member of Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Calabar, FHPH, Princess Philia Henshaw. Chief Odinka, who is said to be in his 70s and an asthmatic patient, was kidnapped from his shop at Target Street, Calabar South local government area. The traders were directed by the leadership of Igbo Union to close their shops and businesses in all the major markets in Cross River State. One trader, John Okechukwu, who spoke said Igbo traders live in fear over what he called rampant kidnapping of Igbo traders in the state. He said, and I quote, he said, the kidnapping of Igbo in the state is becoming alarming. We are living in fear. Igbo traders are endangered species. Chief Odinka was kidnapped since February, and his abductors have refused to release him while others have been released. He added that they were directed to close shops for today and tomorrow to protest and demand for the release of all Igbo traders. By the directive, the Cross River State government told the traders to disregard the directive, vowing to prosecute any person or group of persons under any guise seen obstructing any Igbo trader from opening his or her shop for business in the state on Monday, June 22nd and Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020. In a statement on Sunday night signed by Dr. Alfred Mboto, Permanent Secretary Security Services, the government described the directive as unacceptable, and the statement reads, the attention of the Cross River State government has been drawn to a plan by some members of Igbo Trader Union in the Calabar metropolis to force their members to close their shop for 2 days with effect from Monday, June 22nd, 2020. Government is also aware of the threat of 50,000 subcharged by the union on any Igbo trader who opened his or her shop for business within the 2 days. Their plan is unacceptable to government, and government will do everything within her power and the law to arrest and prosecute any person or group of persons under any guise seen obstructing any Igbo trader from opening his or her shop for business in the state on Monday 22nd and Tuesday 23rd, 2020. All Igbo traders in Calabar and the entire Cross River State are therefore advised to disregard the call and threat of the Igbo Trader Union and go ahead to open their shops for their legitimate businesses. The union is rather enjoined to encourage the state government on the ongoing war against kidnappers, cultists, drug traders, armed robbers, and other illegal oppression in the state instead of scuttling the effort of the government. All right, that's the news, and this is really serious. One of the things that government must really take into consideration is the fact that when issues like this come up, they need to start chasing it from the beginning. Start getting it fixed immediately. The issue of Boko Haram started like this many years ago when Obasanjo assumed the position of leadership. They played around with it. They just thought it was just one of those problems of one small community. It's going to be handled. It's going to be handled. Today, Boko Haram is one of the major groups that have brought a lot of terror to Nigerians. Countless people have been destroyed because of the same people. And guess what? I believe also that in Cross River State, when it started, it was just like a joke. Instead of then conquering it immediately, they allow it. And here today, it's causing a big issue, especially for the economic activities in the state. Because we all know who the Cross Riverians are. They've been known as civil service states. You know, that the only thing they do is get employed by their government. The only people who have been able to go in to help expand the economic scope of the state had been the Igbos. They are the owners of the major shops in Cross River State. I can assure you that 90% of shops there and businesses, whether it's electrical, electronics, give it a name, or virtually all the businesses, it's traceable to an Igbo person. Some of the people who are from Cross River State, Akwa Ibom State, and the likes, Edo and the likes, they are being set up by these Igbo guys. So they are well known and they are considered to be the cash cows of this whole kidnapping business. And that is why they are falling prey. And I think that at this point, the union itself need to create a chance to meet with the state government and give them some level of guarantee that all these people all this issue of kidnapping will be put under control. And I know the reason why some of these things happen is because of the fact that some of them have been used during political periods, and some of them have been privileged to handle guns, and before you know, with time, they grow up to become something very terrible, and look at what is happening. We've seen cases of this kind of people in different states in Nigeria. They end up being, building big houses. I'm talking about the kidnapper. They build big houses and all of that. A case of this kidnapping, I just remember now in Cross River State, one of these well-known journalists is a radio guy, well-known across the South. I think even the Southeast, a lot of people know him. If you have ever listened to CRBC and the likes, you know the guy. His name is, I think, Pr0te. That's his name, Pr0te. And this guy was kidnapped. His name is Pr0te, or you call him the Godfather. He was kidnapped like a year ago. And the children came out on the media trying to, get cash. According to the children, they said they have sent money to these kidnappers. Up till today, their father has not been released. And they say they are not sure that he's still alive because they've not heard anything from them. They've not received phone call, nothing. And man, this is just terrible. I think that the duty of the state government, Ayade has been doing a little within his power to ensure he takes the state beyond the level he found it. Donald Duke did a great job, the same with other government, but I think this other guy is coming to take it above the level it was. I think he needs to tackle this issue, because if not, the truth of the matter is, if not, the Igbos may decide to make up their mind to take measure of their businesses out. And guess what? Most of these mega businesses owned by the Igbos in Cross River State, or Calabar precisely, they are one of those businesses that have employed the services of at least 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 young people to work there. Some of those people who are working there are working on the basis of settlement. After 7 years of putting much effort there, you will be settled, and they go start up. It's something good, because Cross River State has been known as just a state that is so much into, a civil service, working and all of that. But these people are coming there. They are the ones behind most of the major heavy taxes that have been paid there. They are the owners of most of the hotels there. They are the owners of most of the properties there. And hey, this kind of thing happening, it's not a good one, because it's a wake-up call for the state government. They need to do something about it. We have some responses from different individuals, and this one said, same government that is playing politics with people's life in this COVID area, they are there talking about protection, I laugh in Swahili. Honestly, this is quite sad. I totally understand why the Igbo Union will direct its trader to do such, and I hope that they will get the needed justice. The government in the state needs something to knock some sense into them. And now, one says that it has now come to tribe having to identify with victims or voices aren't heard. Don't know what he's saying. And he says, don't blame them. Villages are being wiped out, and so tribes have to speak out as a group or else. This one says here they are busy breeding cultists instead of piping low to learn trade from Igbos or go to Lagos for hustle. When cultism become a norm, no future for those youths. And that is true. If it turn out that they are taking up, getting involved in cultism and getting very comfortable in it, the future is bleak for Cross River State. They need to wake up and stop this menace. For example, now we know there are a lot of other things that have been done. Young men have jumped in, like this issue of betting. So many young men are getting involved in it, They forget about that these things cannot last forever. But you need to get to know, have a handwork, something you're doing to earn a living. You can't just be living by betting and all of that. Guess what? If that betting is no more profitable to them, they'll venture into some other illicit things that would damage their life and damage even the state in the nearest future. I hope that by this reaction by the Igbos, it will be like a wake-up call to the state government to fight this issue of cultism, kidnapping in Cross River State. That's where we're going to leave it.